Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXB and today is the 28th of February 2024 and look, as the price of Bitcoin and the global cryptocurrency market is definitely heading towards the moon, and as I've been saying since the last few days guys, the only reason why the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is increasing is because of news surrounding spot Bitcoin ETF, isn't it? So definitely positive news, but at the same time guys, is it actually a right move for the price of Bitcoin to be connected to spot Bitcoin ETF? If you're a true Bitcoin maximalist and cypherpunk, you would definitely not be liking it, isn't it? So what I'm going to be doing is, before I read out the numbers for the price of Bitcoin, Ethereum and Binance BNB coin, I'll go ahead and share my thoughts and opinion on why a spot Bitcoin ETF is definitely not ideal for the cryptocurrency and blockchain world, and definitely not for the whole idea of peer-to-peer electronic cash system that is Bitcoin. So I'll go ahead and share my thoughts and opinion on it. And guys, listen, there is massive news circulating in the world of central bank digital currency, particularly in the United States of America. And towards the end of this year, guys, there will be a massive event in the United States of America that will impact not just US, but the rest of the world as well, isn't it? And that is the US election. Now, so far central bank digital currency is concerned, guys, Republican lawmakers are planning to put an outright ban on central bank digital currency. Me personally, I'm definitely a fan of this news, and I'll go ahead and discuss what senators, that is Ted Cruz, Bill Hagerty, Rick Scott, Ted Budd and Mike Brown have done. Essentially, guys, they have filed a bill which is titled Central Bank Digital Currency Anti-Surveillance Surveillance Act. Now, will this thing get approved? Most likely yes. And to be honest guys, when that thing happens, it'll definitely have a massive impact, not just in the finance world, but definitely in the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency world. Most likely the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, because of this news, will definitely be pumping up towards the moon. And more importantly guys, it just means that we have more privacy, which is absolutely ideal, isn't it? So we'll definitely go ahead and explore that. And guys, in today's episode, we have two massive news. And the first news, guys, is a partnership by a company called Strike, and they have rolled out the services to Africa. Now look, guys, if you truly know why Bitcoin became a legal tender in El Salvador, that was only because of Strike, and the founder of Strike, that is Jack Mallers, he actually met with the president of El Salvador, and only after an in-depth discussion with him and other fellow people, they went ahead and made a decision to go ahead and make Bitcoin a legal tender. And Strike, guys, essentially is a wallet that works on Lightning Network, but this news, guys, is connected to Africa, and we'll go ahead and discuss how stablecoin, that is USDT, is connected to this news as well. And look, guys, lately Circle USDC is definitely in the news, and I wouldn't be surprised, let's say 2 years from now, it probably might just overtake Tether USDT. So we'll definitely go ahead and very briefly touch base on that. And the second positive news, guys, that we have is regarding OKX exchange, and they are launching in Turkey. Now the reason why this news is really positive, guys, because OKX, apart from launching in Turkey, they also have deposits and withdrawals with some of the key leading banks in Turkey. So definitely positive news, and getting these banks on board will definitely mean easier on-ramp and off-ramp, isn't it? So definitely a very positive news for OKX exchange and also for Turkey as well. And guys, like we do in every Crypto and Coffee at 8 podcast, I'm going to be discussing two news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East, and both the news, guys, definitely seem to be positive news. And the first news, guys, is that a company called FastX, they have announced the opening of the new office at Dubai World Trade Center's One Central, so I'll definitely go ahead and talk about this news. And the second news, guys, is connected to Metaverse, and this news, guys, is really interesting news because the Dubai Judicial Institute, they are strengthening the platform in Metaverse, and I'll go ahead and share my thoughts and opinion on it. But look, guys, when you talk about Metaverse, it's really critical to understand that the new user experience has to be 10 times better than what we are currently experiencing. Just switching current and existing systems to Metaverse without a 10 times better user experience will definitely not cut it, and people most likely will not be using the Metaverse experience. But in today's episode, I'll definitely go ahead and share what is it that Dubai Justice Institute are doing, keeping in mind the Metaverse. So quite a lot to cover, guys, in today's episode, so let's get started with it right away. Welcome to the Crypto and Coffee at 8, the daily podcast that keeps you up to date on all latest developments in the world of cryptocurrencies, blockchain, and NFTs. Join us Monday to Friday as you kick off your day with a cup of coffee and a deep dive into the exciting and rapidly evolving world of digital assets. We'll cover the latest news and trends in the cryptocurrency and blockchain space, as well as delve into the growing world of NFTs or non-fungible tokens and Metaverse. Plus, we'll keep you updated on the latest developments from Dubai, UAE, and the wider Middle East region. Whether you're a seasoned crypto enthusiast or just getting started, Crypto and Coffee at 8 has something for you. Our expert host will provide insight and analysis on the most important topics in the industry and help you stay up to date on the latest developments. They'll bring you interviews with leading figures in the crypto and blockchain space and explore the ways in which these technologies are changing the world around us, from the impact on traditional financial systems to the potential for revolutionizing industries and transforming societies. We'll cover it all on Crypto and Coffee at 8. So tune in and join us for a daily dose of Crypto and Coffee at 8, and let's stay ahead of the curve together. We'll start your day off right with the most important news and insights from the world of cryptocurrency, blockchain, and the metaverse, and help you navigate this exciting and rapidly evolving landscape. In Crypto and Coffee a Day, the daily podcast covers the latest developments in the world of cryptocurrency, blockchain, and the metaverse. We'll also bring you updates on the latest news from Dubai, UAE, and wider Middle East region. This also includes a range of topics such as developments in the local and blockchain industry, including new projects and initiatives, regulatory updates, and policies related to cryptocurrency and blockchain in the region, local and regional events and conferences focused on crypto and blockchain, interviews with leading figures in Dubai, UAE, and Middle East crypto and blockchain community, coverage of any significant news or events related to cryptocurrency and blockchain in the region. By covering these local and regional developments, in addition to the wider world of cryptocurrency and blockchain, Crypto and Coffee at 8 aims to provide a comprehensive overview of the industry and its impact on the Dubai, UAE, and Middle East region. Now, before we kickstart today's episode, I have an important message, so check this out. Thank you to our sponsors for being part of the blockchain DXB journey. Firstly, Advanced Media. Advanced Media, guys, is the largest distributor of professional video, photo, broadcast, and cinematic equipment and accessories in the Middle East and MENA region. With over 2 decades of experience, Advanced Media is now the largest distributor in the Middle East, representing more than 100 recognizable brands, including brands such as Zeiss, DJI, Hasselblad, Red, and Rode. As a matter of fact, guys, the very mic that I'm recording is being sponsored by Advanced Media as well, and Advanced Media has showrooms in Saudi Arabia and services as well. Looks like they're definitely taking the Middle East by storm. And here's the beautiful thing, guys, they're taking corporate social responsibility very seriously, and they're focusing on 3 P's, that is people, planet, and prosperity. Now listen, guys, if you do want to find out more information regarding the statement of corporate social responsibility, check out the website, that is www.amt.tv. And here's the beautiful thing, guys, they also want to be a leader and set an example and reputation as a pioneer and member of the community. And in doing so, guys, they also have an AMT scholarship with SAE Institute in Dubai, UAE, so definitely check it out. And also, guys, Advanced Media is committed to persistently developing, organizing, and hosting training workshops, seminars, and community events that educate, inform, and familiarize consumers with new equipment and the latest technological advances. So listen, guys, do one thing. If you do want to support this channel, go to the website, that is www.amt.tv, and follow the social media channels as well. All of the details are in the show notes below. Next, Startup OI is global one-tech platform for tech. It offers global high-paying tech jobs with flexibility in working time and location, global free tech events, and tech networks to connect with global like-minded engineers. A brilliant platform to listen to the tech experts in Metaverse and to grab their insights. Now listen, all you have to do is download the app Startup OI. If you're using an Android version, go to Google Store and App Store for iOS devices. Alternatively, you can also click on the show notes below to download Startup OI. Next, guys, listen, if you're into fitness, if you're into adventure, if you want to do something wild but still want to keep your health in check, there is a new podcast in town, a podcast focusing on obstacle course race in the Middle East. The podcast is called the Race Pace Podcast. So check out the Race Pace Podcast across all leading platforms. And the Race Pace Podcast is a peer-to-peer community-driven podcast where they talk all about obstacle course race in the Middle East, from Sandstorm to Spartan Race, from Tough Mudder to Desert Warrior Challenge, and also the Government Gov Games, and quite a lot more. The podcast has interviews with athletes locally and internationally to get inside scoop on how athletes prepare for obstacle course race. In the podcast, they also talk about interesting stories on why they are motivated to do obstacle course race. And that's not all. They also plan to release 7 NFTs
And these NFTs are no ordinary. These NFTs will represent every emirate in the UAE. And listen guys, these NFTs are going to be absolutely massive. So do one thing, go to Spotify, go to iTunes, go to any leading podcasting platform and search for Rise in the Obstacle Course Race podcast. And finally guys, not your keys, not your crypto. If you have dabbled with cryptocurrencies and now are seriously getting to protect your cryptocurrencies, there is no better way to protect it by using a hardware wallet. And this is where Ledger Wallet kicks in. And Ledger Wallets are hardware cryptocurrency wallets made by Ledger, a company headquartered in Paris, France. And Ledger's hardware wallets are multi-currency wallets that are used to store private keys for cryptocurrencies offline. And Ledger offers two hardware wallets, the Ledger Nano and Ledger Nano X wallets. They are world-class experts with extensive crypto security backgrounds. They continuously look for vulnerabilities in Ledger products in a constant effort to improve the level of security. Now, in today's world, securing these digital assets is a critical challenge, and this is where Ledger kicks in. So click the link below to buy your hardware wallet and support this podcast. It is a brilliant way to support this podcast. So what are you waiting for? The link is in the show notes below.
Now guys, since you've taken care of that, let's kickstart by looking at the global cryptocurrency market. Now look, guys, the global cryptocurrency market is definitely heading towards the moon, and as of today it is at $2.15 trillion. But look guys, before the whole spot Bitcoin ETF, the global cryptocurrency market was struggling around the $1 trillion mark, isn't it? Now there are two ways of looking at it. Granted, the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies is definitely pumping towards the moon, but look guys, there are some huge financial giants like BlackRock, Vanguard, and it's only because of them the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is increasing, isn't it? And listen guys, if you go back to the ethos of Bitcoin, the whole intention was separation of money and the state, but looks like the role of the state is replaced by multi-billionaires and trillion-dollar companies like BlackRock, Franklin Templeton and Vanguard, isn't it? So the big question is, do you actually trust the governments, or do you trust the huge fintech giants? In an idealistic world, guys, the answer should be none. We should be trusting on the software code, that is cryptography, hashing algorithm and mathematics, but ideologies are not practical in the real world, isn't it? Now, so far as the volume is concerned, guys, the 24-hour volume is at a staggering $99.77 billion. And since the last 24 hours, it has marginally gone down by 0.20%. Now, if you look at the total volume in DeFi, guys, apart from the total value locked, all of the matrix is exactly the same. And if you look at DeFi 24-hour trading volume, it is at $8.39 billion, and DeFi, guys, is accounting for 8.42% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. And Lido's dominance as well, guys, has been on an incline, and right now it is at $32.06 billion. And one metric, guys, which has been changing this particular week is that of decentralized to centralized exchange dominance. Now today it is at 24.98%. I'm really curious to check what this number reflects tomorrow, because what happens is on Wednesdays or Thursdays, the decentralized to centralized exchange definitely gets a massive boost, and I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest guys, if tomorrow it crosses the 40% mark. So keep an eye on decentralized to centralized exchange dominance numbers tomorrow. Now let me very quickly run through the volume of decentralized exchanges. And it's no surprise, guys, Uniswap has definitely crossed its limit, and its volume is $2.41 billion. I wouldn't be surprised, guys, if this number might just be the highest in the history of Uniswap. So definitely worth looking into. And PancakeSwap volume, guys, is once again ridiculously high. It is at $774.63 million. Orca, guys, is at number 3rd, and it is actually close to $500 million mark. It is at $488.66 million. Core Finance, guys, is at number 4th, and its volume is $422.58 million. And finally, guys, we have Radium, and its volume is $313.33 million. Now look, guys, decentralized exchanges are definitely the reason why the price of Bitcoin is increasing, isn't it? And looks like a lot of stablecoins are being used in order to go out and buy a lot of Bitcoin and Ethereum, and also some altcoins as well. And later on, guys, I'll go ahead and discuss the top 3 gainers and the top 3 losers in the last 24 hours. Now let's look at the volume of stablecoins, because the volume is $90.87 billion, and stablecoins, guys, as of today is accounting for a staggering 91.08% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. And out of this $90.87 billion, Tether USDT is accounting for $72.58 billion, whereas Circle USDC, guys, it is at $7.34 billion. Now listen guys, my big question is, let's say 2 years from now, who do you think will be the leaders of our stablecoin issuers are concerned? Will it be Circle USDC or will it be Tether USDT? Now based on the partnership that Circle USDC has been doing, I wouldn't be surprised, let's say 2 years from now or maybe 5 years from now, Circle USDC might just dominate the stablecoin world. But listen guys, one of the biggest threats to stablecoins might just be central bank digital currency. Now granted, the United States of America is skeptical regarding central bank digital currencies, but other countries like China, UAE, and maybe even UK are definitely proactive so far central bank digital currency is concerned. So let's see how the central bank digital currency story plays out. Now the third one guys, so far as the stablecoin volume is concerned, is True USD, and its volume is $148.16 million. Now guys, let me very quickly run through the market cap, 24-hour trading volume and dominance between Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now Bitcoin's dominance guys is definitely pumped up, and as of now it is at 52.14%, and Ethereum's dominance has also picked up pace, and now it is at 18.20%. Now look guys, a lot of activity is going on, particularly in the world of Bitcoin and Ethereum, and because of that guys, Bitcoin's market cap is definitely pumped up, and right now it is at $1.11 trillion. Now listen guys, just over 9 months ago, the entire global cryptocurrency market was below the market cap of what Bitcoin's market cap is right now. That is $1.11 trillion. Absolutely crazy world, isn't it? Now so far as Ethereum's market cap is concerned, it is a little shy of the $400 billion mark, and it is at $389 billion. Now surprisingly guys, if you look at the 24-hour trading volume, Bitcoin's 24-hour trading volume has actually pumped up, and as of now it is at $42 billion, whereas Ethereum's 24-hour trading volume guys is well below the $20 billion mark. It is only at $17.7 billion. So looks like since the last 24 hours, a lot of interest is actually taking place in the world of Bitcoin, isn't it? Now guys, let me very quickly run through the top 3 biggest gainers and the top 3 losers since the last 24 hours. And look guys, the numbers have actually changed. A lot of the losers have moved on to gainers, and some of the gainers have moved on to losers as well. And I very specifically mentioned yesterday guys, a lot of the protocols or tokens that pumped up yesterday has a very high possibility to go down, and that is exactly what has happened. Now let me just read through the top 3 biggest gainers since the last 24 hours. And the first one guys is Arviv, and it has gone up by 39.73% since the last 24 hours. Pepe Coin guys yesterday was at number 2nd, and today it is at number 2nd as well, but since the last 24 hours it is up by 26.93%, and Gala token guys is at number 3rd, and it is up by 18.01%. Now let's look at the top 3 losers since the last 24 hours, and Helium guys is at number 1, and since the last 24 hours it is down by 9.53%. Now yesterday guys, if I'm not mistaken, Tether network was one of the top gainers, isn't it? But unfortunately since the last 24 hours it has actually gone down, and it is down by 8.38%. And if I'm not mistaken guys, yesterday Pit Network was in the gainers list, but since the last 24 hours it has lost a lot, and it is down by 7.35%. And yesterday guys, Gala was in the top 3 losers, but today it is in the top 3 biggest gainers. So cryptocurrency world is absolutely bizarre and wild, isn't it? Now guys, in today's episode, what I'm going to be doing is, I'm going to be sharing my thoughts and opinion on why a spot Bitcoin ETF may not necessarily be ideal. So let me know if you agree to it, and let me know if you disagree to it. Now I did share this news guys the day the spot Bitcoin ETF was approved, but let me go ahead and elaborate more on these points. Because look guys, when we talk about spot Bitcoin ETF, let's talk about centralization. And listen guys, Bitcoin is all about decentralization or distributed nature, isn't it? But listen guys, with a spot Bitcoin ETF, there's a risk of introducing a centralized authority or middleman, which goes against whole ethos of peer-to-peer electronic cash system, isn't it? And look guys, BlackRock, what if they decide to go ahead and go out of the Bitcoin ETF? The price of Bitcoin will completely crash down, isn't it? And that might just be absolutely terrible. And guys, listen, when we talk about Bitcoin, the whole notion why Bitcoin was built was your key and your crypto, and there should ideally be no counterparty risk. But when you talk about spot ETF, there is massive counterparty risk. And one of the things about spot Bitcoin ETF is, guys, let's say for instance when you're doing regular Bitcoin transactions, the transactions are completely without any risks. ETFs on the other hand involve trusting some fund managers like BlackRock, Franklin Templeton, Grayscale as well, to go ahead and handle the underlying risk assets, and this actually goes against the whole trustless value of Bitcoin, isn't it? And speaking of trust guys, let's talk about custodial risks. While ETFs, guys, rely on these third-party custodial services to hold your Bitcoin, it sounds really cool and great, but Coinbase, guys, a centralized exchange in US, is the custodial service to most of your Bitcoin holdings. But listen, guys, this does actually add an extra layer of risk, isn't it? Especially, guys, when you talk about Bitcoin, you're in control of your own money. Now, guys, let's get into dependency on traditional markets. And by drawing Bitcoin's value to traditional market dynamics, you're kind of exposing it to all influences of big institutional investors and traditional financial instruments, isn't it? And to be honest, guys, this goes against the whole cypherpunk movement, isn't it? And to be honest, guys, Bitcoin was also a rebellious act, isn't it, against these top companies? And guys, so far as traditional market is concerned, there's definitely risk that can definitely spill into Bitcoin market, and with the approval of spot Bitcoin ETF, it could have real dire consequences, particularly on the underlying price of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrency as well. Another massive area, guys, is regulatory, and Bitcoin, guys, was supposed to rebel fiat currency, and Bitcoin was kind of resistant to government control and censorship as well, isn't it? But look, guys, with ETF approval, Bitcoin has actually opened up more regulations and potential interference as well. And when you talk about privacy has definitely taken a hit. And guys, you know how Bitcoin transactions are all about pseudonymous, but by participating in an ETF might mean that you're giving some of the privacy by disclosing a lot of your info. And Samson Mao, guys, he did actually write an article talking about this very specific point. Now let's talk about financialization. Now look, guys, Bitcoin was supposed to be a revolutionary medium of exchange, but with the ETFs, it's more about speculation and financial instrument. And to be honest, guys, it takes away from Bitcoin's original purposes in it. And then there is risk of mismanagement, and ETFs, guys, are managed by people. And people aren't always perfect, so there's a risk of things going south if these fund managers drop the ball. And knowing the notorious history of BlackRock, guys, anything is possible, particularly in the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency world. Now look, guys, BlackRock, they're massive advocates of ESG as well. And I've said this thing, guys, in the past. BlackRock directly and indirectly has shares in Coinbase and even MicroStrategy. And could it be possible they will go ahead and change the underlying nature of Bitcoin from proof of work to proof of stake? Because of the whole ESG notion, you never know, guys, they might indirectly do that as well. And that would actually mean, guys, that Bitcoin has actually been successful in creating separation of money and the state, but the role of the state has now been replaced by financial giants like BlackRock, Vanguard, Franklin Templeton, and even smaller companies like MicroStrategy as well. Plus, guys, there's also this whole thing about governance, isn't it? And Bitcoin is all about decentralized governance, but ETFs might actually introduce more centralized decision-making process, and this is definitely not in line with Bitcoin's whole vibe. Now listen, guys, as much as I hate saying this, at the price of Bitcoin right now, people in Zimbabwe or even Africa, when I'm going to be talking about some news regarding Stripe, they definitely can't go out and afford Bitcoin. And right now, with such a high price, only the rich are getting richer. Millionaires are turning out to be multimillionaires, and billionaires are turning out to be multi-billionaires, isn't it? So those are my honest thoughts, to be honest. Now look, guys, while the approval of spot Bitcoin ETF might seem like a big win for mainstream adoption, it does come with fair share of drawbacks and challenges. Now these are my honest thoughts, guys. Now, guys, let's look at the king of all kings, that is Bitcoin. And the price of Bitcoin, guys, right now is a little shy of the $57,000 mark. It is at $56,966. And since the last 24 hours, it is up by 0.62%. And since the last 7 days, it is up by 9.33%. Ethereum, guys, is well past the $3,000 mark. It is at $3,244. Since the last 24 hours, it is up by 0.12%, and since the last 7 days, it is up by 7.97%. Binance BNB Coin, guys, is a little shy of $400 mark. It is at $396, but since the last 24 hours, it is actually down by 3.94%, and since the last 7 days, it is up by 0.57%. Now, guys, in today's episode, let's kickstart by talking about central bank digital currencies. And Republican senators, guys, that is Ted Cruz, Bill Liggett, Rick Scott, Ted Budd, and Mike Brown, they have filed a bill titled the CBDC Anti-Surveillance Act. And look, guys, the Republican lawmakers definitely want to block the implementation of a central bank digital currency in the US because they fear that CBDCs could actually infringe on personal privacy. Now, despite being a campaign issue, guys, Joe Biden's administration has definitely been proactive so far as central bank digital currency is concerned, and so far as the Federal Reserve is concerned, they are in initial stages, with Vice Chairman Mike Barr noting that any progress would need approval from White House and the Congress as well. Now look, guys, I've said this yesterday in my Crypto and Coffee Date podcast. right-wing ideologies and Republicans, they're definitely not a fan of central bank digital currency, and rightly so. Left-leaning ideologies and the Joe Biden administration definitely want more control over your money, more control over your spending. And what I tend to do is every month, guys, I do tend to have a series on central bank digital currency. And in that event, guys, I tend to make a comparison between Bitcoin and central bank digital currency. So look, our central bank digital currency from a political point of view will definitely be a massive issue in the US election. And President Donald Trump, guys, in one of the rallies definitely openly said that when he does regain his role as the US president, he will definitely go ahead and ban central bank digital currency. Now, so far as this bill is concerned, guys, the legislation is endorsed by Heritage Action for America, the Blockchain Association, the American Bankers Association, and the Independent Community Bankers Association as well, and also the Club for Growth. So it's going to be really interesting to see, guys, how this bill actually develops. Now look, guys, when I did my very first Metaverse Everything event, I very specifically remember I talked about some of the political implications in the Metaverse field, and I definitely talked about how central bank digital currencies could actually play a massive role in Metaverse. And listen, guys, whenever you're reading any news regarding central bank digital currency, you need to understand that they're definitely digital currency, but at the same time, they are definitely not cryptocurrencies. Now, that thing being said, guys, there are certain benefits for central bank digital currency, and one thing which I really like what central bank digital currencies can do is they can implement something what Ethereum has done, and that is the whole burning mechanism. So what that would actually mean is that excess money could actually disappear completely from the ecosystem, not just given to centralized entities, let's say to the bank or to the government. There is an ability to completely take it off from the system. What that would actually mean is that inflation can be better managed. So what I'd really recommend you to do is, guys, probably around the 20th of March, I will have a series on central bank digital currency. And in that event, guys, I'll go ahead and share out more bits and pieces of information. So go to eventbrite.com and keep an eye on central bank digital currency. Now, guys, let's discuss second news. And this, to be honest, guys, seems like a positive news. And this is connected to Africa and Strike, which is one of the leading wallets so far as Lightning Network is concerned. They're expanding their Bitcoin services into Gabon, Ivory Coast, Malawi, Nigeria, South Africa, Uganda, and Zambia as well. And they are launching the first full-featured region outside the US, giving customers local fiat on and off ramps, and you can actually buy and sell Bitcoin and even buy and sell USDT. And guys, the official information is written by a blog by Jack Mollers, who's the CEO and founder of Strike. So look at the show notes below for the official information. And because of this news, guys, Strike users in the US can now instantly send money to their family home in Africa, and that can actually be received in USDT, and they can then exchange it for Bitcoin or cash to a local exchange as they like. Now look, guys, this thing sounds great, but my only simple question is, rather than using Strike app, what users can do is they can just use Ripple. Because to be honest, guys, as much as I dislike Ripple and XRP, Ripple does do a much better job, probably at a fraction of a cost as well. Those are my honest thoughts. Now, guys, let's discuss some news regarding OKX Exchange. And OKX, guys, they are launching OKXDR, which is essentially a platform tailored for Turkish users, and they are offering a seamless trading experience. And the great thing about this news, guys, is the platform has already integrated Turkish lira fiat, on-ramp, deposits and withdrawals to collaboration with prominent Turkish banks, and the list of these bank, guys, is in the show notes below. And because of this partnership, guys, it will actually provide users with a wide selection of major cryptocurrency pairs like USDT to TRY, BTC to TRY, Ethereum to TRY, and TRY, guys, is OKX Exchange's TRY tokens that is connected to Turkey. And apart from that, there will also be advanced crypto functionalities catering to both novice and experienced traders with an easy-to-use interface. So definitely positive news, I guess. Now look, guys, Turkey is definitely very proactive in the world of cryptocurrency and definitely in the field of metaverse as well. So definitely positive news. So those were the news, guys, on the cryptocurrency and blockchain world. Now let's look at two news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East. And the first news, guys, is that Fastex, they have announced the opening of its new office at Dubai World Trade Center's One Central. So let me go ahead and give out more information. And this information, guys, is published via Cointelegraph.com. Now mind you, guys, it is a press release. That means that this news is actually paid for by Fastex to Cointelegraph. So let me go ahead and share more information regarding this news, because it looks like Fastex is on an expansion plan, and this move, guys, signifies a commitment to growth and integration in Dubai's business landscape, and the location that they have chosen is very strategic, and they want to facilitate collaboration with Dubai's Wara, that is Virtual Asset Service Regulatory Authority. And to be honest, guys, this building 1 Central is literally less than a few hundred meters away from Dubai's Wara, and the proximity to Dubai's Wara enhances licensing process as a virtual asset service provider license, and they received initial approval from Wara for broker, dealer and exchange operations. And Vardhan Kachatran, the chief legal officer, has definitely expressed optimism about the expansion, and this move, guys, highlights dedication to industry standards and regulatory compliance, and the presence in Dubai World Trade Center indicates commitment to progressive business environment. And FastX, guys, they aim to contribute to Dubai's reputation as a global hub for virtual assets, and they describe themselves as an all-encompassing ecosystem redefined Web3 experience, and the company blends blockchain and AI technology seamlessly, and they offer various services like FastX Exchange and FastX Crypto Payment Gateway as well. Additional services include FastX Verse, NFT marketplace with phygital space, and guys, priority and regulatory compliance ensure secure and reliable experience. And FastX, guys, they aim to offer user-friendly environment for global digital finance, and the expansion plan reflects dedication to growth and innovation, and FastX, guys, is looking forward to contributing to Dubai's financial community. So overall, guys, regarding this news, they definitely aim to be a reliable player in evolving landscape of digital finance, so definitely positive news, I guess. Now let me try to see, guys. I'll drop the team an email and let's see if they can come on my podcast or can go ahead and give out more information regarding FastX. Now, guys, let's discuss second news, and this is to do with Metaverse. And the news essentially is that DJI, that is Dubai Judicial Institute, is strengthening its platform in the Metaverse. So let me go ahead and share some bits and pieces of information. Cause DJI, guys, they are strengthening their presence in Metaverse with innovative projects and scientific sessions, and their participation in UAE innovative activities demonstrates commitment to pioneering approaches. And Dubai Judicial Institute is integrating Public Prosecution Investigation Office with Litigation Hall, and they are utilizing artificial intelligence to enhance judicial decision-making processes. Now they are introducing something really unique, which is virtual crime scene theater, and they are doing that for immersive training experiences, and they are going to be presenting recorded scientific sessions on the impact of algorithms in judicial processes. Now look, guys, could it be possible that they will replicate the murder scene or crime scene in the theater? It does sound extremely realistic, isn't it? And projects are designed to cater to future requirements of judiciary members, and this move, guys, aligns with the strategic plan of Dubai judicial system and leadership vision, and they aim to enrich legislation and reduce procedural expenses through innovative approaches, and they want to empower targeted groups to invest in future legal and judicial system. And Her Excellency Judge Dr. Abistan Ali Badwawi emphasizes the importance of incorporating exceptional methodologies, and the Dubai Judicial Institute strives to pioneer the adoption of metaverse technology in judicial training. And so far as this news is concerned, guys, it enhances cognitive capacities of judicial members and legal professionals, and they want to contribute to the realization of national and Dubai metaverse strategy as well. And they've also launched DJI Prosecutor Office to bolster legal procedures, and they have established Future Lab, which is a window for leveraging generative AI in judicial decision making. And the introduction, guys, of the virtual crime scene theater for simulation-based training learning will definitely make the experience more realistic, isn't it? And guys, the aim is to establish DJI as a globally recognized digital judicial training center. So definitely positive news, I guess. So those were the news, guys, on the cryptocurrency, blockchain and metaverse world. In case if you guys have any feedback or suggestions, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. Check out my website www.blockchaindxb.com, and also check out my other website area2071.com that talks everything about metaverse. And guys, if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating and share the word across. Now for the next few minutes, it's going to be an Ask Me Anything series where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi and metaverse. So let's kick start with the Ask Me Anything series. Hey everyone, it's Josh from Blockchain DXB. You're listening to the Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi and metaverse. I have a question by Lionel who asks, is it too late to get into Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies? Now, to be honest, Lionel, right now it is definitely late, because you're late by more than a decade to get into Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, because the prices right now are definitely to the roof. But that thing being said, there are still certain areas where you can definitely go and use your knowledge, maybe even learn some of the knowledge in the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency space. One thing which I can definitely think of is trying to go against Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, because right now I can literally count it in one hand, where people don't actually think that Bitcoin might be the next big thing. And to be honest, Lionel, they're definitely getting a lot of recognition, and they're getting invited to speak to a lot of these events. Like you can think of Peter Schiff, who is one of the biggest detractors of Bitcoin, also Dr. Doom or Dr. Nouriel Roubini. He's not a fan of Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies. So what I would recommend is try to have a different approach, because look, everyone is an influencer right now in the Bitcoin cryptocurrency world. Another area what you may want to look at is probably central bank digital currency. What I would recommend is try talking central bank digital currency from a positive point of view, and then maybe you can invite guests to go out and talk about central bank digital currency. Or you can also take the exactly opposite route and try to find out why central bank digital currency sucks, and you can go ahead and talk about that. But to answer your question, yes, you're definitely late, because the prices are definitely heading towards the moon. Now, if you want to go ahead and build something, I hate saying this, besides Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, I don't think personally there is any use for decentralized apps. And if you actually look at the number of people using decentralized apps, it is absolutely ridiculously low. And I did actually mention this few days ago as well. In some of the top decentralized apps, the 24-hour trading volume is less than $30 as well. And roughly around 2 years ago, there was a report which was published that did actually mention the low number of people using Metaverse platform, and they were talking about Decentraland, and the numbers were literally 12 people. Now, I wouldn't be surprised even in those 12 people, there might be 8 developers who are trying to go ahead and update the system, and that is unfortunately one of the drawbacks so far as Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, and even Metaverse is concerned. So look, try to identify what your strengths are, try to look at what your experience is, but more importantly, try to understand what Bitcoin is, and then go ahead and make a decision. Now, if you go ahead and keep on harping about the price, I'm pretty much sure there are 99,000 million people who are saying exactly the same thing. And what is it that you can bring to the table that makes you stand out? That is something which will be interesting. Now look, I'm starting a series on why Web3 is hype. And to be honest, I might be going against the system. So let's see what kind of response I get. I'm pretty much sure a lot of people may not necessarily be liking what I'm saying. But look, I'm going to be having a healthy debate, and I'm not going to keep it argumentative, and my whole goal is that listeners should benefit by it. You can also look at some of DeFi protocols and try to see what is it that is lacking at the moment, because look, the numbers, if you compare to centralized exchanges, and we are talking about a decade-old system, ideally these numbers should have been 10 times, 20 times, maybe even 100 times of what it is right now. Now, we only live in the promise and anticipation that one day we might be reaching these numbers. And truth be told, I've been listening to that when I attended the very first Bitcoin meetup going back to 2013. And looks like the same narrative is still being talked about right now. So try to look at different areas. You may also want to look at artificial intelligence right now, because that, to be honest, is a relatively new field, but there are quite a lot of people already in this space. So rather than maybe getting into Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, and blockchain world, or even the Web 3.0 world, artificial intelligence is definitely an area where you definitely may want to get involved in. Apart from that, Lionel, tokenization might just be the next big hype. So if you want to go out and build something, try to make the life so much easier for people to truly understand what security token offering is, and how is it you can actually go out and help companies to go out and launch the security token offerings. So that is definitely a massive area. Now, to be honest, if I had some technical expertise, that is definitely the route I would be heading towards. So those are my thoughts, to be honest. And that's about all, guys. I'm the Ask Me Anything season blockchain DXB. In case if you guys have any feedback or suggestions, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. Check out my website www.blockchaindxb.com, and also check out my other website area2071.com that talks everything about Metaverse. And guys, if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. And remember, guys, Monday to Thursdays, 8 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. we have Crypto and Coffee at 8, where we cover top news and information pertaining to Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. And how this series of episodes under Crypto and Coffee at 8 works is, we usually cover some top news and information pertaining to the price of cryptocurrencies, some major breaking news, occasionally short and sweet news as well, news that has an impact in the cryptocurrency world. The other two news and information is related to Dubai, UAE, and the Middle East in the world of Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. And what you're listening to right now is the Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. So thanks so much for listening, guys, and have a nice one. Bye-bye.